Hey everyone, Amanda here. So in this video I'm going to be discussing the side effects that I had when I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. This is just my personal experience. Everyone's experience is different because obviously these drugs have been rushed and they're new and they are not known for what's going to happen down the road in terms of side effects. So this is just what happened with me. This does not mean that this will happen to you, but it doesn't mean it won't. This is just me giving my testimony of my experience, and this is just for educational and informational purposes only. So I got my shot. I got the Johnson & Johnson's Janssen vaccine, however you want to say it. It's a 1-dose shot, and I went down, and when I got the shot, they have you sit and wait either about 15 minutes or a half hour, depending on how you answer some of the questions. And I had to sit for 15 minutes, and I felt okay. When I got the shot, it felt a little weird. It felt like a lot of pressure, sort of like when you get, your seasonal flu vaccine, but a little more pressure than that. A little bit of pain, but it wasn't really bad or anything. I didn't bleed or anything like that. I had a little bit of a, it's gone now. I had a little bit of a mark from it, but that went away. And for the rest of the day, I felt a little loopy, kind of like you do after you have the flu, because you're getting the strands of the flu put into your system, so your system knows that these strands, if they happen to come into your system, that your body will automatically attack them so you don't get sick. And that's what's happening. So and I know that this vaccine was created a little bit differently, so that could have been why my body reacted the way that it did. So I was a little loopy, felt a little but nothing out of the ordinary. It was just like, okay, and I drank a lot of water. I was resting. I didn't do anything strenuous or anything like that. And then I was like that for the rest of the day. And then it was time to go to bed, and I went to lay down. Now I'm trying to remember, because this was like about a month ago now. I can't remember if I had already fallen asleep or I was trying to go to sleep, but I was in bed and I started to suddenly feel very cold. And when I say cold, I mean from my nose down, I was freezing. I was wearing layers of clothes. I had 5 or 6 blankets on top of me, and from about here up, okay, I was really, really warm. And I was so cold that, in cartoons where they show when a cartoon character is scared or cold, their teeth will chatter really, really fast. That's what my teeth were doing, and I couldn't get them to stop. and I was very, like, my body was just shivering and shivering and shivering, but I was like really hot up here, and I had a headache, and it felt very, saying it out loud doesn't do it justice for how it felt. It felt really bad, and I was really, really cold, and it was starting to cause my back to hurt and stuff like that because I was just like shaking and getting stiff and all that. So I ended up getting into the shower, and I was in there for about an hour, maybe a little more, a little less, and my mother turned the heat up to 74 to raise the temperature of the water, and I was in there for about an hour trying to raise my body temperature. And towards the end of the shower was when I started to feel like I was not cold, but when I got out of the shower, the coldness started to come back, and it was very unpleasant, and that's when I started to feel nauseous. So on top of feeling cold, I was feeling nauseous, and I had a headache at the same time, and I was not eating at this point. I did not want any food. I didn't want any drink, but I knew that I needed to drink water because I needed to keep myself hydrated. I didn't want it, but I still drank it. I never did have anything other than nausea. So it was just nausea. And these symptoms lasted, well, let me take that back. The next day, I went from having the cold, shaky chills to being very, very hot. It flipped on me. And I still had the headache, I still had the nausea, and these symptoms lasted with the hot, not the cold, because the cold went away and then I was hot. Lasted, I want to say, I got my shot on the 9th of April. I want to say about a week later is when I started to feel better. Because I was having trouble sleeping as well. I also had problems with breathing, and I have asthma, so that's something to take into account. If you have breathing problems and you get this vaccine, be aware that it could cause a breathing issue. And if you have a breathing issue already and you get this, because since this is something that attacks your lungs, if you have a problem, go to the emergency room, because that's what my doctor's office told me, that because I called and they said if things get worse and you're having, that kind of trouble breathing, and if your nebulizer doesn't work, if your inhalers aren't working, and you're having that kind of trouble, go to the ER. So that's what my doctor told me. So be sure to contact your doctor if that is an issue, or if you have any other types of issues, and get their advice of where to go to make sure that you are okay and you're doing the right thing for your body. So it did affect my breathing. It did affect that. I do remember that now. I'm sorry, I did forget, but it's been, about a month. So, and there was other things that happened, so I kind of forgot. So my bad. But it took about a week for these things not to be so much of an issue. And with my breathing, that was more the first 2 days that was an issue. And then I was, I was drinking tea and water. So, and I put honey in my tea. So the tea was helping to soothe my esophagus, making it easier on my, because I was coughing, and then it was kind of soothing that. I don't know, the honey helps. It just, I don't know how it helps, but it does for me personally. So I was keeping an eye on my breathing, keeping an eye on the different symptoms I was having with the headache, with the nausea, with the hot and cold, if they went back and forth, you know, how my body was feeling all in all. And this is why I'm glad I only had one dose, because I personally feel for myself that if I had to get 2 doses, and I think it wouldn't have mattered which vaccine I got, if I had to get 2 doses, I think I would have had a reaction, nonetheless, no matter which one I got, but I would have had it twice. I think that's how my body just would have reacted either way. Maybe it wouldn't have been as severe because I got 1 dose, so you're getting all the medicine at one time. Whereas if you get 2 doses, you're getting like half of it, and then you're getting the other half of it. So that was just my experience with it. I still would have gotten the vaccine because I want to be protected and I want to protect other people. This is just how I feel about it. This is just my personal choice. I am not saying anything about anyone else. If you want to get the vaccine, get it. If you don't. This is just my choice. This is just my experience with it. And I just wanted to let you guys know, because I said I would make a video about it. And, it wasn't the best experience that I've had, but I've had worse experiences. If I compare that experience to when I had the H1N1 virus, it wasn't that bad. The H1N1 virus was really bad when I had it. I thought I was going to die when I had that. Yeah, that was my experience with it. And like I said, if even knowing what I went through with the side effects, I would still get the vaccine, whichever one. And once doses become available for my son's age group, he's going to get vaccinated as well. And my mother has her first dose. So once we have our car back too, that's the other key. Once we have my car back, she's going to schedule her second dose as well. So that's just the choices that we have made. And like I said, this was for informational and educational purposes only, and just for me to tell you about my experience. Alrighty, I hope this was helpful in some way. And whatever you choose, is whatever you choose. Alright, thank you for watching. I love you all. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace and love. Bye.